Welcome to this introduction to drawing. This video is going to show you how to start off a drawing. I'll do some other ones that will take you through different stages of the drawing process and particularly look at finishing a drawing. So I've got an image, I've got it on my iPad, film still that I've just happened to have on here. It's quite useful for what we're doing because it's a figure in a room that fits in with Edward Hopper and Hammershaw and all those other things that many of you are doing. So I'm going to go with this. I'm going to plan out my drawing and I'm going to block in the tones, and then later on I will take you through how I'm going to develop it a bit further. So to start with, I know my iPad screen is just under 20 centimeters by 14. I'm going to just go with this on the edge of my page. So if I go 20 first, I've got 14, I think it's 14.5. Get my shape of my image first of all. I do want to check that I haven't got, I'm going to go there. I've done that so that I know that my proportions are straight. I'm going to double check that's 19.7, so I'm going to go with that. Let's bring that in. Now it's quite useful to have these corrections here because it's far better to double check this and get it right rather than having it wrong. Right, so I've got my box where I'm going to draw into. Now, so you can do this in various ways. You can measure parts of your image out from the edge, so the distance from here to here. You can use a grid. Now, because I'm working on a screen, the grid doesn't suit it very well. What I can do, because I know I'm working 1-to-1 scale, I can line things up. And that's going to help me a huge amount. It's going to save me loads of time. I've got all the aspects of the drawing, the image. I'm going to be able to line up here, and I'm going to be able to just mark those in straight away. Anything that's further in from the edge, I can just measure with my pencil. So I can see where the edge corner of that table is. And I can start to get things going. If I've got a tricky diagonal line like this, I can take my line all the way through and I can see where that ends on the other side. If I go back to this edge, the bottom part of the table comes out there, and that's about there. If I wanted to measure it, I could. I think that's probably a bit much in most situations, 3.2. Yeah, about that, that'll do. And that will allow me to take that line all the way across from the bottom there. We'll do the other one just by eye. It's important to try and do some of these things by eye. It does help kind of get you used to measuring things, but you don't have to do everything. And there are certain bits like these these angles that you really want to make sure that you're getting right because they're going to really make everything fit together. Obviously, there is a bit tricky using a ruler and things on an iPad screen because as soon as you touch it, it becomes live. But the one thing to double check with these lines is that this angle isn't wider than this one. These two lines want to ultimately come together at some point in the distance. And as this table isn't very long, I'm going to bring that in to about there. Keep checking those measurements. Check it twice. It's always a good thing. So that's really set me up now for where my figure is going to go in my drawing. And so once I've got that things like this arm that's just inside. I'm just blocking it in very basically at first. I'm always presuming I'm going to make changes. Little distance like from there to there is really helpful to observe. Her back pretty much lines up with the edge of the table. So I'm going to bring that in. I know where the skirt goes here. I'll sort out the chair a bit later, but I'm going to just indicate that that's there. And I'm keeping all these lines really light. Probably a little bit too light for your screen. Let's hope not. Just very basically blocking things in. Now, I don't want to get caught up in curves and things at the moment. I want to keep things quite straightforward. I want to be able to double check with these lines. That's one that shows I'm a little bit out. A little bit out on the head and shoulders. Probably come a little bit high on the head there. Now, I'm not worried about that being not quite right for now. That's quite a useful thing to show you that it is all about these corrections. And that's those. If you're not sure what a line's for, double check. You'll find that if you hold your pencil further away from the tip, it's quite useful for long lines. This, holding it right down the tip, is really good for details. Now I'm going to bring this up a little bit here so you can see. That's where we are at the moment. Really basic. I'm not too involved in the drawing. I can make changes and I can sit there for a little while making sure that I've got everything right. And that's where I'm going to leave it for working out the key aspects of your drawing. Well, it says leave it. Just going to do that sleeve. I've got basic figure all in. I know there's lots of other features I'm going to need, but that's given me a whole load of things that I can check. Okay,